Alright, good morning everyone. Welcome to KC Basketball Home Workout's second live video. I wanted to start by first of all saying well done to everyone that's doing the WODs. I can clearly see that everyone's getting better at their handle and a little bit of fitness as well. I want to say that if you miss a WOD, that's okay. Don't let that stop you from doing the rest of them. If you miss out on a WOD, just jump back on the next one and keep going. Catch up on your off day. The weekend is a great time for you to catch up on your WODs because obviously we don't have any on a Saturday and Sunday, so you might be able to knock a couple out there. But bottom line, if you miss a WOD, that's fine. Just keep going. Just get back onto it. Okay, so today's topic is footwork and a little bit of shot preparation. At the back end of the live, we're also going to show you, just to clarify that last workout move in Dylan's video. So today I just want to talk about our basketball stance before we get to our footwork. Okay, so basketball is a game that has to be played in an athletic stance. So basketball stance to me is always our wide stance. We talked about last live with our shooting stance having the inside of our feet on the outside of our hips. Our basketball stance is probably just slightly wider than that, and we can't play with straight knees and straight elbows. We always say this to the younger kids. If you have straight knees and straight elbows, you can't play the game of basketball. You have to have bent knees and bent elbows to play the game of basketball. So our basketball stance, bent knees, obviously chin up, not chin down to the ground, chin up, bent knees, bent elbows. Okay, so that's our basketball stance. Triple threat. Okay, so when we talk about a triple threat, if you're right-handed, that's fine. You can have your right hand behind the ball, not necessarily on top of the ball, because we want to be able to go into our shot. If you're left-handed, you can have your left hand behind the ball, not on top of the ball. So, triple threat, our first option, and they're always in this order. As soon as you catch the ball, our first one is shot. We went over that last week. Make sure we've got our wrist wrinkles, toe, knee, hip, elbow, all in a line. So you're never as open as when you first catch the ball. So first thing, triple threat, ready, can I shoot? The second one of our triple threat is pass. Can I pass it? Can I pivot to pass? So shot first, pass second. Third option is drive. So can I then dribble it? Can I throw it down? Whatever it might be. So triple threat, catch, basketball stance, bent knees, bent elbows. Can I shoot first? Can I pass second? Can I drive third? Triple threat. Okay, one of the things we spend a lot of time on as coaches is running. Moving fast, explosive moves off the dribble. We probably don't spend enough time on how to stop. Okay, so stopping is an important part to be able to pass accurately, to be able to shoot accurately. So we're going to go over both our jump stop and our stride stop. Okay, so we're going to start by tossing the ball out in front and come into a balanced 2-foot jump stop. And we want to make sure that our toes are facing our target. Once again, the inside of our feet are on the outside of our hips, and we're into that triple threat. So we'll show that again from a couple of different angles. Toss it out, jump stop. Make sure that your wrist is behind the ball again, so you're ready to go straight up into your shot. So from the side, toss it out, jump stop. Ready to shoot, pass or dribble. Okay, so if you want to practice those, make sure that your nose does not go over your toes. Your nose is not over your toes, so you fall off balance. We want to make sure that we're sitting down into it, and that our chin is up, and that we're ready to shoot first, pass second, drive third. Okay, so that is a jump stop. The next one that we're going to go over is a stride stop. Okay, so when we go to a jump stop, we can choose our pivot foot. Both feet are our pivot foot, so we can choose which one we want to step with. With a stride stop, the first foot that hits the ground becomes your pivot foot. So I want you to practice both of these. We want you to practice, first of all, a left-right stride stop. We're going to throw it out, left-right, okay? And then we're going to go right-left, right-left, okay? So we want to practice both of those, same thing, inside of your feet, outside of your hips, toes facing your target, bent knees, bent elbows, wrist behind the ball, okay, Cox, we talked about those wrist wrinkles. Make sure that you can shoot, pass, or then dribble next. Okay, so jump stops, and stride stops. Have to practice them both. That was left, right. Have to practice them right, left. Make sure if you're left and right-handed, practicing both of them with your hand behind the basketball so you're ready to shoot it. So you can do maybe 10 of those each way as part of your warm-up before you do the WOD. Ready to play, ready to shoot in an athletic stance. Okay, want to talk about pivoting now. Pivoting is one of the most important, probably the most undervalued skill from players, but something as coaches we have to be able to do. Whenever you come to your stop, or maybe you've caught the ball and you haven't yet moved, you still have a pivot foot, and it's important for you to be able to pivot. Keep the ball away from your defender. Quite often keep your body in between the ball and your defender. And we want to make sure that we can pivot effectively and on balance without losing our shape. So if this is our shape here, we have our bent knees and bent elbows. When we pivot, we don't want to get really skinny and narrow because we can fall over. We also don't want to get so wide that we then can't power back up. Okay, so whenever we're pivoting, the ball must either be on our shoulders or on our hips. Okay, only momentarily can the ball go up above your head because it's very hard to be strong and athletic from here. So if you are going for an overhead pass, it can only quickly go up and then it's got to come straight back down. Okay, so just practicing here, we've got the ball on our hip and our shoulder. Okay, it's going one to the other. Okay, it's nowhere in the middle. It's shoulder, hip, and we call that a wood chop. It's like you're swinging an axe, you're going straight from your shoulder down to your hip, and you're strong and positive. Okay, so talking about our forward pivot to begin with. So come to a stop, ready to play, the ball's on our hip, we're ready to go. If we're going to forward pivot, for the example, we'll use our left foot as our pivot foot. As we forward pivot, we can't just hold the ball in front of us like this, because a good defender will knock it out or down. Okay? So we've got to make sure that when we move, the ball moves. So there's two ways you can do it. You can forward pivot with the ball low, okay, from hip to hip, or you can forward pivot with the ball high, from shoulder to shoulder. You might even go forward pivot from shoulder to hip. Okay? When you pivot, it's important to remember these teaching points. Drop your hips when you pivot, drop your hips, and lift your heel. This is your pivot foot. Lift your heel, drop your hips, and rip the ball through. Remember, we're not getting too wide, so we're off balance. We're not getting too narrow, so we're skinny and we can fall over. So forward pivot, example looks like this. Remember, the ball is always on your hip or your shoulder. And reverse pivot. Reverse pivots, this gets tricky for some younger kids. I want you to think with pivoting. Forward pivot, you go towards the ball. Reverse pivot, you go away from the ball. Same teaching points. Drop your hips, lift your heel, ball moves when you move, moving away from the ball. Jump stop, forward pivot, moving away from the ball. Okay? That's our forward pivots and our reverse pivots. Shot fakes. Shot fakes are a great tool to gauge the closeout of your defender. Sometimes if you have an undisciplined defender and you shot fake, they might jump or rise up out of their stance. This allows you to drive, attack their lead foot, then get into those situations. So with our shot fake, I want you to think about this. You're in your stance. You've caught it in your triple threat. The ball goes up, not you. The ball goes up, not you. We don't want you to go like this in your shot fake. And then you're out of your stance. Okay, you can't shot fake and then go, all right, now I'm going to go back into my shot. So you're in your stance, the ball goes up, not you. So if you look at my head level, when I've caught it, the ball goes up, my head doesn't go up. Okay, so jump stop, shot fake, ball goes up, I don't go up. Okay? Some players, they might give a little eyebrow fake as well, that's fine. Stride stop, shot fake, ready to pass. shoot or dribble, shot fakes, okay, important tool. Jab steps now, okay. When you come to your stop, if a defender is on you, you might want to jab either left or right, jab step towards your target. We see a lot of the time people catch it and they'll jab step away from the target. That's negative. We want positive moves going towards the basket. Teaching points with the jab step. Knee to chest, okay, so stepping forward, knee to chest, eyes up, chin up again, and the ball to your opposite hip. Okay, there's no point jabbing like this, okay, because once again, defense will hit it up or out. So we want to make sure when we jab, knee to chest, positive step towards the basket, chin up, ball goes to our opposite hip. Okay, so we can do a combination now. We can go a shot fake jab, and then we're back. Okay, we can go the other way now. Make sure that once again, when we jab, our nose isn't over our toes and we're not off balance. Okay, want to make sure that if a defender is attacking us and they're aggressive, that we use their aggressive nature, their front foot mentality, for us to be able to jab and then maybe attack that lead foot. Okay, so we can do all of these in a combination together. Spin the ball out, jump stop, shot fake, pivots, jabs. We want to make sure that we don't change our pivot foot when we're doing this series. Okay, shot fake, jab, pivots. All right, want to be able to practice those. Shot preparation. Hungry hands. All right, hungry hands, greedy eyes, bent knees, bent elbows. So if you're moving off the ball, you don't have the ball, you're moving off the ball to a receiver spot. Might be to our drift, it might be to our diag, you might be dragging behind. Want to make sure. Hungry hands, hands ready forward, greedy eyes, making sure that you're ready to shoot, because remember, you're never more open than when you first catch the ball, unless there's a terrible defensive breakdown. So you're moving without the ball, hungry hands, greedy high, coming into our stride stops, hungry hands, greedy eyes, coming into our jump stops, and you're ready again. You can shot fake, you can jab step, you can forward pivot, or you can reverse pivot. Okay, you want to make sure that you keep practicing all of those. Last thing we want to work on is skipping into our shot. So if it's a stride stop, so for example, it might be left-right, we want to make sure that we don't go from high to low to high on our shot release. And that's referring to our head height again. So once again, we don't want to go high, low, high. We want to stay low, hungry hands, greedy highs, into high. Low, high, and then we're up into our shot. Okay, so skipping into our step, it's like there's power coming off the floor, generating power up into our shot. So we can practice that, skipping into it, and then we're up. Make sure, inside of your feet, outside of your hips, toes facing forward. Everything that we worked on last week. Skipping into it, shot fake, jab steps, forward pivots. All of those things we need to work on. Last one, want to clarify the move that we did in our WOD that Dylan from the 18-1s did. I thought every kid that we've had so far doing demonstrations has done an awesome job. For those of you who keep posting your videos, we will contact you and get you to do some as well. So just want to clarify. Shot fake. Okay, our defender is in front of us. We go for a throwdown. We want a positive step. So we throw down, inside pivot foot. Our defender now gets back in front of us. It's behind the back, positive step forward, inside pivot into that stride stop so we can then go and shoot it. Okay, so we'll show you again. Shot fake, throw down, behind the back, inside, outside your feet, outside your hips, then you're up into your shot. What some of us were doing, we were turning it into a step back. Right? And that's not what we're working on. That's still a very good move, but we want to make sure where possible, we're attacking the basket positively. Shot fake, throw down, inside foot, behind the back, inside foot, outside foot, into our shot, triple stance. Okay, things that we went over today. Basketball stance. Basketball players play with bent knees and bent elbows. Triple threat. In this order. Shoot. Pass. Dribble. Shoot. Pass. Dribble. Want to make sure that happens. We went on to some different stops. Jump stops. Stride stops. Okay, practicing all of those. Our pivots. Drop your hips, lift your heel. Forward pivots. Remember the ball moves. When you move, the ball is either on our shoulders or our hips. And we forward pivot, we go towards the ball. Reverse pivot, we go away from the ball. Okay, making sure it moves all the time. Worked on our shot fakes. The ball moves, you don't move, your head height remains the same. Jab steps, knee to chest, chin up, positive step forward, ball to your outside back hip. We don't want to get jab step like this. Once again, defense will hit it up or out. Then we need our shot preparation, hungry hands, greedy eyes, skipping into our shot, generating power off the ground, ready to shoot. And then last thing we worked on was just a review of that throw down move from the last one. Shot fake, throw down, inside foot, push behind your back, outside foot, positive step into your shot. Keep going everyone, really proud of the Cavs. Thank you.